Hey guys, welcome back to the channel Gadgets for Gentlemen. In today's video we're going to show you a fantastic, I would say, mid-level dive watch by a micro brand called NTH, not to history. And here we can see it on a NATO strap that I paired it up with. Originally this watch comes on this beautiful oyster style metal bracelet with solid links and solid end links, beautiful clasp with a few micro adjustments, and this beautiful box. All the technical details to have them right out of the way. We're dealing here with a watch called Zwaardvis, which is a Dutch name for swordfish. It has a date view at the 6 o'clock position. It has a double domed sapphire crystal with AR coating, 300 meters water resist or 1000 feet. The bezel has 120 clicks unidirectional. The watch houses a Japanese automatic watch movement, the Miyota caliber 9015, that operates on a frequency of 28,800 beats per hour. Dimensions are about 40 millimeters across the diameter, 48 millimeters lug to lug, which is this distance. Thickness only 11.5 millimeters from the case back to the top of that double domed sapphire. You can wear it on a 20 millimeter strap because we're dealing here with a 20 millimeter lug width. What I really like about this watch is that beautiful big crown that you can see with skin divers, as well as the Tudor Black Bay 58. No crown guards whatsoever, just a very thick and easy to operate crown with a nice knurling, as well as a beautiful inscription, the logo NTH. We can see a screw down case back. What else? I think the metal bracelet that comes with this watch is quite nice. I think it was even better if it had a stronger taper, but that's just a personal preference. And also I think more micro adjustments would have been better. Other than that, I think a fantastic metal bracelet. I also really like the original box that comes with this watch. I'm not sure if this is leather, but it looks like leather. And it has a beautiful logo. And here inside you can store the watch and also, for example, keep your spare links. So very nice presentation box and very useful also for taking your watch on travels with you. So this watch has been purchased at Serious Watches, which is based in the Netherlands. About the watch movement, the Miyota 9015, it should have a power reserve of about 40 hours, which I did not test. Also, what I want to point out here is we have some very nice drilled lugs, which makes changing straps with this case so easy, which is quite different from example with the Squale. You can see that there is no drilled lugs. So I really like these drilled lugs because of the ease of changing straps. And again, I think what's also quite unique is that water resistance of 300 meters. That's quite unique. Most of my dive watches are 200 meters. For example, here the Combat Sub 200 meters. And I think the Squale is also 200 meters. Yeah, 200 meters as well. And obviously, what's important about this watch, I think, is that the color orange on the dial. And if I recall, this watch has quite some strong luminescent materials. As you can see, it has a very nice white kind of lume, white blue, not green, but white or blue. And I will try to also include a shot in a darker environment to show you that lume. So I'm just going to charge the watch briefly. The watch has not seen any sunlight today, so I'm just going to charge it quickly with this torch, and then I'm going to turn off the lights. So let me just charge it a little bit here. I'm also going to try to throw some light on the crown, because I thought the crown is also luminescent, but I'm not sure, and we will see about that in a second. So let me just give it some time to charge a little bit with this torch, try to throw light on every part, the hour markers, the bezel, the hands. I think that we are about a minute in. I think it's time to turn off the lights and see what's going to happen with this watch while we briefly threw some light on this watch. So please bear with me, let me turn it off. Now let's turn off the light. And as you can see, we have quite a nice lume. Yes, okay, it doesn't show, but the crown does give off light. I hope you can see it here. I tried to put it in the middle of the camera. The crown is luminescent, although obviously not as strong as the dial itself. A very nice lume. Even the bezel is fully lumed. It just looks very, very nice. All the hour markers, they are fully lumed. Just the 6 o'clock, it has no lume because of that date wheel. But it just looks very good, very strong lume. And this is only from charging it just a little bit. Here we can see a little bit of that crown. I hope you can notice it has a bit of lume. So that is the lume shot of this NTH Zwaardvis. So I think that's just a quick overview of the watch. And in this video, I want to compare it a little bit with two other watches that are quite similar in my opinion, or similar price point. First of all, what I want to point out is that case thickness of 11.5 millimeters. That is quite thin. See, there we have it, 11.5. That is very, very thin. And for a water depth of 300 meters, I think that's really insane. And I want to compare it with my glycine, that is 200 meters water resist, because I think the glycine even has a thinner case. Yeah, the glycine is 1 millimeters thinner, but definitely the Zwaardvis, the NTH, is definitely one of the thinnest dive watches that I've ever seen, especially for a 300 meter diver. So on the right we have the glycine, 200 meters, 10.5 in terms of thickness. Also the beautiful drilled lugs. But definitely the Zwaardvis with 1 millimeters thicker is still a very thin watch, especially considering 300 meters, so 100 meters more water resistance compared to the glycine. And second of all, I want to compare it in terms of the case style. I think it's very similar to the Squale case design. I think the case, it looks quite similar, and also in terms of the dimensions, I think it's very similar, because the Squale, I think we're also dealing with 48 with a strap of 20 and a diameter of 40. So I think in terms of the fit and feeling, these watches are quite similar. For your reference, I'm wearing the Squale here on the right on a ripped NATO burgundy by Cheap NATOs, and the glycine I'm wearing on a vintage Tropic 2.0 strap, 22 millimeters khaki green, also by Cheap NATOs. So what more to say, really nice watch. I will include some wrist shots, of course. And I'm going to pair it up finally with the metal bracelet. I wanted to take off this watch from the bracelet also to give you a peek at the case back, which I think is one of the most simple case backs that I have seen on my watches. Iris Sapphire, you know, that is about the double dumped crystal is sapphire, and the build material is 316L stainless steel, automatic, referring to that Miyota movement, and we have the NTH logo. So very simple case back, which is screwed down. So finally, let me throw it on the metal bracelet and I will be right back. And just one detail, again, we have the drilled lugs, which makes changing the strap or bracelet so easy. You can just push it in with a spring bar tool. Spring bars, they come off right away. So that is so easy about drilled lugs. And also wristwatch check. Today I'm wearing the Casio watch with radio controlled time and also with a solar technology to charge the rechargeable battery of this watch. As you can see, the metal bracelet consists of these beautiful machined parts. It has a couple of micro adjustments. It has a double pusher and it has a secure lock that has the brand inside here on the clasp. I told you there's a little bit of taper, I think from 20 to 18, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, so the final link on this bracelet is 18. So again, this link has a width of 18 millimeters. At the lugs, we're dealing with 20 millimeters. And then the buckle again is a bit wider. So there is a little bit of reduced size in terms of width from 20 at the case. And it tapers down, it becomes more narrow at 18 in the final link. I think that's very sweet. I think it would have been even better if this final bracelet was 16 millimeters. So the taper is stronger. I think that's prettier. I've seen it with Rolex bracelets as well as Steinhardt, which basically kind of copies the Rolex look. So I would advocate for a stronger taper. I think that's just more elegant and also makes the bracelet even lighter in terms of weight. I think here we're dealing with screws, which makes removing links on this bracelet quite easy. And again, solid links and also a solid end link. So finally, there we have it on the original metal bracelet, and putting it on the bracelet is quite easy. As you can see, beautiful bracelet, solid clicks, nice piece. Let me throw it on the wrist, but first of all, let me throw it on a scale to demonstrate to you what this watch weighs. On the original metal bracelet, sized to a 6¼ inch wrist. That is my wrist size. Obviously, if you reduce more links, the weight will go down. And if you have larger wrists and if you include some more links, that weight will go up. On the original metal bracelet, sized to a 6¼ inch wrist, I measure 137 grams. By comparison, the squale on a NATO is 91 and the glycine on a rubber strap 88 grams. So that's just some comparison for your information. Finally, let's throw it on the wrist. And I think I already made some different shots, daylight shots of the watch in several different looks. And I will also include those shots in this video, of course, so you can have a little bit of a look and feel of what the watch looks like on the wrist. For me, on a 6¼ inch wrist, this watch works very well. And as you can see, if you have smaller wrists, you can still remove a couple of links. So that's great. And if you have larger wrists, I think there was a couple of links, as you can see here. Yeah, if you have larger wrists, then this should also work because you have spare links. And then if you're in between a few links, you can also use that micro adjustment here to make it a little bit looser or tighter. So really nice bracelet one more time. Let's throw it on the wrist. And this is what it looks like. Fantastic watch with a Mercedes kind of hand. I mean, that Mercedes hand looks a little bit like the Squale, but the inner part is just missing. That triangle or that cross is missing from the hour marker. Sword hand, very similar to the Squale again, and also the layout of the hour markers is very similar, but you can see that the 3 and the 9 are different because with the Squale we have rectangular hour markers, and we have that triangle, that pyramid, only at the 12, and with the NTH we have the pyramid or triangle at the 12, 3, 9, and because of the date wheel, we don't have the hour marker at the 6 o'clock. So again, really nice watch, the Zwaardvis. Unfortunately, this watch I think is not often available because I think it was like a unique watch or a limited edition. But definitely, if you can look it up, if you like it, at least here with this video you have a little bit of a look and feel of the watch with the double dome sapphire. There's other watches in this lineup that also are very nice, including, for example, the Barracuda. I'm not convinced if I did a shot of the bezel action. As you can see, this is coin edge style, easy to grip, not very tall, the bezel, a little bit taller than the Glycine. Also not super easy to reach, this one. The NTH is a little bit easier to hold on to. Well, Squale I think is even better to grab, but not bad for the NTH. And again, 120 clicks. Let me play with the bezel a little bit. So I think it lines up quite nicely. To me, it seems at least that it's lining up perfectly. So there we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we can see 2 clicks per minute marker. So that makes 60 minutes times 2 is 120 clicks. As you can see, there's not a whole lot of play on the bezel. So that is good. It's quite easy to reach. It sounds nice. Let me bring it to the microphone. So this is what the bezel sounds like, which is quite good. I think I forgot to do the bezel shot, so here it is. So again, thank you so much for watching. Have a fantastic day and see you soon.